Hello, ladies and gents of the interwebs. Welcome back to AI Builds My World, where I still have a problem with not finishing projects. If you're new here, my name is Hinamori, and I have Aphantasia. I'm a content creator that is trying to be creative while having rolled a nat 1 on imagination and creativity. Aphantasia is the inability to see your mind's eye, meaning you cannot see pictures, hear sounds, or even your own thoughts in your head. So please enjoy the video. I want to thank you all for the support on the last video. It's nice to see others with varying degrees of aphantasia from all walks of life. It's very refreshing. It's fun to meet new people and how they view their aphantasia in their heads, and you know how it can be different from mine. It's a very niche condition after all, and kind of rare. Today though, as the title suggests, we are going to be working on trees on this jungle island that I like to call. It's part of my 4-island project that I'm doing. That's going to be a snowy area behind me. And this tree that I've made in the time lapse at the beginning of the video here, I'm hoping is going to be the focal point of the entire thing. So we're gonna have trees planted all the way around this little island with a path going through the middle, and it's gonna be kind of like a muddy jungle kind of thing. I don't want to do a lot of custom trees though in my world because I'm very bad at them. As you can see, those ugly palm trees over there are pretty ugly, not gonna lie. This is probably the best custom tree I've ever made behind me. Let's just say the ones that I'm gonna put on the outer edge, think of them as like a backdrop. It's meant to make the centerpiece stand out more because the backdrop is going to be kind of like a repeating pattern kind of thing and something that's not gonna draw your eye to it. But this tree behind me, I kinda borrowed, but not fully borrowed. I took this person's concept and idea and just listened to her words, which she specifically stated to just make a bunch of wild branches. And that creator, she goes by the name of Meg Ray on YouTube. I'll probably put her channel in the link description. And she was making a bonsai tree, and I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. Because I wanted to do a cross between a juniper tree, and juniper trees, they grow in kind of more dry climates. So their roots are kind of exposed and they're kind of like a desert tree, I guess. That's the best way I can put it. But she broke down everything for me in that video and how to design this tree and everything I wanted to do. I loved the design she had and I thought it was great. So I took inspiration from it and added my own little touch to it, adding flower azaleas, the sticks drooping down like that I'm going to be putting lanterns on, by the way. And the base of the tree kind of looks like feet, and that's funny to me, but this is like my first custom tree other than those palm trees over there, so I don't really know what I'm doing here. This is a new territory for me, and it's gonna be very experimental. We're gonna work on the outer edge of this island and plant some regular Minecraft trees that I'm going to mix in with the rest of the vegetation and hopefully make the tree pop out in the middle there. I'm hoping to use a mixture of dark oak and probably azalea trees. So let's go grab some of those trees and get planting. Got the trees and the bone meal, so let's do this. So the way I want this to kind of work is I kind of want like dark oak trees to be the bigger focal point if they grow. Dark oak trees provide that. I didn't even get to bone meal that just grew. Dark oak trees provide that like heavy shade, and I want these trees specifically. Like, let's see, if we come over here and we look out from the tree in the center, yeah, see, they don't really steal your eyes from that. That's exactly what I want. It's a bland color in the background that will have some slight color added to it later, but it's not going to overpower what you currently see. These trees, hopefully, will give that illusion of a dense jungle from afar, or like Because I'm going to be adding like vines and stuff to all of these. And like glow lichen and stuff like that to add that. Hey, look, there's a lot of vegetation feel here. And that's what I want out of all of this, because otherwise my brain lied to me. That's all I can say, it lied. Big fat stinky liar. We can hopefully just grow an azalea tree between these. Yeah, like this. It's gonna like overtake some of these, but that's fine. So now when you walk in, you're immediately drawn to this tree, which will, by the way, have these lanterns on it. Like these. To add a nice lighting. Because I like lanterns and they're fun to add to builds and stuff. Always a fun time, you know? And they also, you know, draw your eyes because they're orange and they stick out. Boom, bam, pow. Look at it now. It's a tree. And I do want to add more to it and some more vegetation throughout here, especially with the path that I want to do. And normally the path that I like to do is kind of like this right here. But since it's more of a jungle, it's going to have more mud and coarse dirt in it and packed mud kind of near where the big path is, while most of the outer area will become mud. And I've farmed a lot of mud for this, so I hope I have enough. I'm also really glad I'm kind of going down this route because this vibe is starting to look really nice. Gonna need to add some dark oak leaves to the outer edge of this tree though, because that kind of looks very out of place compared to the rest of them. Have you thought about subscribing? It's a fun time. We have breadsticks and cookies here. Specifically, Olive Garden breadsticks. All right. Next up, we're gonna work on some of the path here, and I'm gonna try to break it down, my entire thought process as I kind of make this for you guys, and just talk about what I'm possibly gonna be adding throughout the entire place here. So I brought me muds, packed mud, podzol. So we're gonna grab our mud here, packed mud, and of course some podzol. And good thing I made this thing too thick, because otherwise this would have been very hard. First, we're just gonna kind of dig the general shape out of where we want this path. When I come across something like straight like this, I'll come back and like add a little section that does this to it. And then I'll take those grass blocks I just dug out and kind of do this. Add like a, I guess a curve, a turn, whatever you want to call it. And we're gonna go kind of this way. Maybe back towards these trees a little. You don't want a path to be straight lines. I learned that the hard way when I was making my other nature path, because in my eyes, the best thing to have is a good path. You got a good path down, everything else will kind of like flow together and make it look and feel more alive. And that's probably the number one thing about terraforming in general is, does it look alive? If it doesn't look alive, you need to change it. For me, making it look alive is kind of like a lot of foliage and like other areas of adding kind of life to it with varying points of interest, varying points of kind of like growth and not growth, and you know, stuff like that. So like if I was to make this path all one solid block, you know, it's not going to look the greatest. But if I make it with multiple blocks, it'll look a lot better. So we know that this path is going to have a lot of packed mud in it, because this is going to be the well-traveled parts of the path. And then as you get towards the outer edge, that's where you would put in the other blocks and transition into what the floor is going to look like, kind of thing. And the best way for me to do this is to essentially place all of these blocks down before I even do anything else. So like, I want to primarily focus, say, hey, this is where biggest travel is going to be, and essentially cover them in that block. Because if that block is constantly here, I know, hey, this is my traveled spot of the path, and that this needs to be a very consistent theme. I don't know how I would say that otherwise. It just needs to be consistent. If it's not consistent, you know, it's not going to be very good. And most of my path ideas that I end up doing, I draw inspiration from several of the people on Hermitcraft, because it's just, I didn't even need to leave. It's just the group of people that I am inspired by the most. And Hermitcraft is a very fun group of people. So why not, right? Take inspiration from the people you view as like your heroes, but not in like a full sense kind of thing. Because not all heroes wear capes, not all heroes are prominent, not all heroes are part of your life or part of something you like. You know, and sometimes you gotta find areas where your hero currently doesn't exist, and you could become that hero, or you can create that hero yourself. For me, I wanted to create a community based around people with aphantasia, because I have aphantasia and I know how it feels to them. You know, they know the struggles, I know the struggles, so we should try to adapt, I guess, with each other to understand where we're coming from, kind of thing. Because aphantasia is not fun. And it's good to educate people on what aphantasia is and how you can help people become more creative, you know, for the people who have aphantasia and people who don't have it. Like, my roommate, she has the hyperphantasia, so she's got like super visuals in her head, where me, I just kind of have nothing. I'm gonna just fill all of this in, and we'll see where we'll go from here. Sorry, I was taking a drink of delicious liquid called strawberry melon brisk iced tea. Not sponsored. So now that we added all of that goods in, we're gonna take the coarse dirt, actually, and we're gonna kind of mix it into the outer edge of the mud blocks, with one or two kind of going in towards the area. So now what you do is you put one in the offhand, come through, you break it up. You know, you just kind of click every now and then. Just have a good time. This is how I do it anyways. I'm winging all this commentary. I wrote a script, but I'm not like fully using the script, because I wrote in the script specifically, talk while making this path. And that's it. And I didn't say what to talk about. I didn't say why I should be saying what I'm saying or anything. I just like said talk and work on the path. All right, I'm going to do a time lapse of me placing the mud. I got to try to keep this video under a certain amount of time, and I hope you guys can understand that. But here's a time lapse of me placing mud. hope you guys enjoyed that little time lapse of mud placing. As you can see now, what I'm trying to do, there's gonna be foliage on this mud, so don't worry about it. This is just the start. That tree alone is what killed me the most when making this video, but yeah. Now, when I do start doing this foliage on this, my favorite thing to do with it is to make it feel overgrown. I want you to feel like you are in a crowded place and that you can't really move around very much except for on the designated path. But that's enough of that. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making it to the end of the video. I do really appreciate it. I think we've accomplished a lot today. I have a hard time making custom trees, so that tree took me quite a long time. This video, honestly, is taking me about a week and a half to make because I am not very good at remembering to do stuff, and I've been working on self-motivation lately, and so it's been really good for me in a sense. So using YouTube as a way to motivate myself has been kind of working out in a sense, but that's going to do it for this video. These videos are going to be moving forward, that is, specifically for people who have aphantasia like me, and I want to build a community around that. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed. And without further ado, I wish you guys farewell, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Thank you for reaching the end of the video. My name is Hinamori, and I appreciate you all for watching my wonderful video. I'm not the greatest at editing, but I still appreciate all the love and support I get for these videos that I try to make. So thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.